Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Candy and today I want to talk about recognizing a toxic work environment. And I'm talking about being bullied to a certain level. We've talked a lot, we've seen a lot, we've read a lot, especially in the news and the media, about children being bullied, young adolescents being bullied, the consequences of that, the results of that. But are you being bullied as an adult? And I want to share one, two, three, maybe 4 things that we can look out for to help us recognize if we are in a toxic work environment. The first one is when you're given next to no training. I'm talking about when they basically throw you in and it is a sink or swim situation. I've seen scenarios where coworkers are thrown in without any kind of training, and it's basically figure it out. Is that a toxic work environment? Because if you don't learn it, if you don't make it, then you get your notice and you're basically dismissed. One of the things that if you feel that you are in that kind of work environment when you've just kind of been thrown in there to figure it out, don't freak out. Don't get upset. I would suggest that wherever you're at, that you start right there and you start going backwards, and that you follow the past pattern, that you get familiar with how it was done, let's say the day before, how it was done last week, last month, and then start working your way back in. That is something that has worked for me, and it may be that it's because of my accounting background. Accounting is very safe. It's black and white, and there's patterns, there's methods. So I would encourage you to look for those patterns, look for those methods. One of the things that I've learned to do when I've gotten very little training or even real good training is I will tell them, if they're showing me something like an example, and they say, well, in this scenario, this is what you're going to do. You're going to send that email. And I'll say, can you forward me that email as a template, as an example? And that's how I start to build my files so that I can have something to go back on and follow. That's one way to recognize of a possible toxic work environment, when they just throw you in there and they basically want you to figure it out. But don't freak out. Just slow down. And before you know it, it's going to start to come together. I would say don't ever apologize whenever you're making mistakes, if it's that kind of environment, because you're learning. You don't really know any better. And so you learn and then you just move on. The second thing that I would say to recognize if it's a possible a toxic work environment is if you're put in an awkward position by committing you to work longer hours or coming in, calling you in to come on your days off. I've always believed that if I'm not scheduled, I politely decline. Because something that I've learned over the years is that work is always going to be there. It's going to be there when you come back after your day off. If you work Monday through Friday, you're off on the weekends, work is going to be waiting for you on Monday. And make plans. When you're off of work, make plans. Do what you want to do. Live your life, because work is always going to be there. The third thing to recognize if possibly working in a toxic environment and there may be some bullying, that your mistakes, when you make mistakes, they're announced. Passively aggressive is what I would say, in a passively aggressive manner, by CCing whoever your superior is on emails or in a meeting, and they make it a point to say the mistakes that you made, but they want to do it in a group setting as a learning experience. Make a mental note. Correct the mistake, definitely, but also begin to look around and identify who is who. Who is working against you and who is showing support, and then move accordingly. Because not everybody's gonna like you at work. Not everybody's gonna wanna be your friend. I've had people that go to the other extreme and say, I just go to work, clock in, clock out, and I'm out of there. And I get that. Maybe they're jaded, maybe they've had bad experiences and they have not been too quick to make those network connections. But make a mental note, step back, don't be so quick to talk, and just observe. And then once you figure out who's who, then you just move accordingly. You can have a pleasant experience going to work. You just got to be careful because not everybody's going to like you. The fourth thing I would say, if you happen to be working in a toxic environment, is be patient with yourself because you're on a learning curve. I personally do not like learning curves. I don't know that I know anybody that does, but you're going to get better over time. And when you apologize profusely, when you over apologize for your mistakes, that it's perfectly normal to make mistakes. After a while, if you're not careful, people will start to freeze frame you. People will start to see you as the mistakes instead of the individual that you are. So be careful with being hard on yourself. Just learn from your mistakes, and before you know it, you're going to be past the learning curve, and your work is going to speak for you, and you're going to leave the bullies behind with their pettiness, because at the end of the day, that's what that is. It's being petty, and we don't have time to entertain that. I know I don't, and I'm sure you don't either. So I hope this video helps. And as always, do something good for you, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.